Hello, my friends. My name is William, and I've walked this earth for over 80 years. Life, with all its ups and downs, has taught me some hard-earned lessons. What to say, what not to say, what actions to take, and most importantly, the people to keep close and those to let go. You see, I've made my share of mistakes, but with each one, I learned what truly matters in life. Today, I'm here to share with you the essence of my 80 years. I'll tell you about 3 things you should never say, 3 actions to avoid, and 3 people to steer clear of. These aren't just empty words. They're lessons that have shaped my journey and can help you live a life filled with peace and respect. And let me tell you, the final lesson I'll share is the most important one of all. It's something I wish someone had told me decades ago. So, stick with me, my friends, because these words come from the heart, and I promise they'll make a difference in your life.
Thanks for sticking with me so far. Before we continue, please take a moment to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more valuable content coming your way. Your support means a lot, thank you.
Growing older is a privilege, my friends, but it's also a journey filled with choices. Choices that can bring you joy and respect, or lead you down a path of regret and isolation. I wasn't always the wise man you see before you today. There were times when I said the wrong things, acted in ways I'm not proud of, and trusted people who didn't deserve it. But over the years, I've learned, I've observed, and I've distilled these experiences into lessons that I want to share with you now. What I'm about to tell you isn't something you'll find in books or lectures. It's the wisdom of life, the kind you can only gain by living it. These lessons are my gift to you. 9 simple but powerful truths that have the potential to transform how you live, act, and relate to others. So, let's sit down as old friends do and talk heart to heart about the words, actions, and relationships that make life worth living. Together, we'll uncover what it truly means to age with wisdom and grace. Let me take you back to my younger days. I was in my 40s and working as a manager at a manufacturing plant. One day, over lunch, I made an offhand remark about a coworker's inability to meet deadlines. It was meant to be harmless, but word got back to him, and it created a rift between us. For years, we worked side by side, but the trust was gone. Looking back now, I realize how damaging that one careless comment was. Words, my friends, are like arrows. Once released, you can't take them back. The Stoics understood this well. Zeno of Citium said, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." And he was right. I've learned that pointing out someone's flaws, especially in public, doesn't just hurt them, it diminishes your character. If you must address someone's shortcomings, do it privately, with empathy and respect. Remember, the goal is to help, not humiliate. Now, before I speak, I always ask myself, will my words heal or hurt? If it's the latter, I keep them to myself. When I was in my 50s, I landed a big promotion. I was proud, and I wanted everyone to know it. I'd drop hints at family gatherings and talk about my accomplishments at every opportunity. But instead of admiration, I noticed people pulling away. That's when my wife, bless her heart, sat me down and said, "William, let your actions do the talking. People respect humility, not self-praise." It was a tough pill to swallow, but she was right. As Lao Tzu said, "Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know." True greatness doesn't need to be advertised. It shines through your deeds, not your words. I learned to focus on doing good work and letting others recognize it in their own time. And you know what? I earned far more respect by staying humble than I ever did by bragging. I'll never forget a dinner I had with an old friend, Robert. He had a way of listening that made you feel like the most important person in the world. He didn't speak often, but when he did, his words carried weight. That dinner taught me the value of thoughtful communication. Many of us talk just to fill the silence, but silence, my friends, can be a powerful thing. As Epictetus wisely said, We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. Now, I try to speak only when I have something meaningful to say. If my words don't add value, I hold back. And you know what? People listen more when you speak less. They value your input because they know it comes from a place of thoughtfulness and care. When I was in my 60s, I'd sometimes find myself looking at my neighbor's shiny new car, or hearing about a friend's exotic vacation and feeling a pang of envy. I'd think, why didn't I achieve? But one day, I had a conversation with my grandson that changed everything. He said, "Grandpa, why do you care what they have? You've got stories, wisdom, and time to spend with us. Isn't that what matters?" It was like a light bulb went off in my head. You see, constantly comparing yourself to others is like chasing a shadow. It leaves you exhausted and empty. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. So, I stopped focusing on what others had and started celebrating what I did have: my family, my health, and the freedom to live life on my terms. My advice: compare yourself only to the person you were yesterday. Each day you grow, learn, or find a moment of joy, you're winning the race that truly matters. I wasn't always the calm and reflective man you see before you today. In my younger years, I had a temper. I'd lash out in arguments, say things I didn't mean, and sometimes hold grudges for far too long. One argument with my brother John over a small inheritance kept us from speaking for years. It wasn't until I saw him at a family wedding, gray-haired, frail, and avoiding my gaze, that I realized what a waste of time and energy it had all been. The anger I'd held on to hadn't hurt him nearly as much as it had hurt me. Seneca said it best: to be free of anger, don't desire too much, and don't value possessions over people. That lesson came too late for my brother and me, but it doesn't have to for you. Forgiveness, my friends, isn't about letting someone off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of resentment. Let go of the small stuff. Focus on the relationships that truly matter. You'll find your heart grows lighter and your life richer. I used to think success was about material wealth, a bigger house, a fancier car, a larger bank account. So I worked long hours, sometimes at the expense of family dinners or my kids' soccer games. I thought I was building a better future for them, but really, I was missing the present. One day, I came home late to find my daughter Sarah waiting up for me. She said, "Dad, I don't care about the money. I just want to spend time with you." Those words hit me like a ton of bricks. Wealth, as Epictetus wisely said, consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. After that, I started prioritizing what truly mattered: moments, not money. I began volunteering at a local library, mentoring kids who didn't have strong father figures. That experience gave me more satisfaction than any paycheck ever could. So ask yourself, are you chasing things that add to your life, or just add to your stress? Focus on what brings joy, connection, and purpose. Those are the true treasures. Let me tell you about Bob, a guy I used to play cards with every week. Bob always had a way of turning every conversation into a complaint about his job, his health, even the weather. At first, I tried to cheer him up, but after a while, his negativity started rubbing off on me. I found myself leaving those card games feeling drained and frustrated. One day, I decided to step back. I replaced those evenings with walks in the park and coffee with friends who lifted me up instead of dragging me down. The difference was like night and day. As the saying goes, surround yourself with those who bring out the best in you, not the stress in you. Negative people can cloud your mind and dim your spirit. So, choose wisely. Spend time with those who inspire you, challenge you, and bring joy into your life. Your energy is precious. Don't waste it on people who don't appreciate it. I'll never forget the time I trusted someone I shouldn't have. I was in my 50s and partnered with a friend on a small business venture. I was excited, pouring my heart into the project, only to find out he had been skimming money from the accounts. It wasn't just a financial loss, it was a betrayal that left a deep scar. That experience taught me a hard but valuable lesson. Trust is the foundation of every relationship. Without it, you're building on quicksand. Laozi said it well. He who does not trust enough will not be trusted. Now, I'm careful about who I let into my circle. I pay attention to actions, not just words. If someone has shown you they can't be trusted, believe them the first time. And don't be afraid to set boundaries. Protect your peace and keep your relationships rooted in mutual respect and honesty. In my 70s, I started spending time with a neighbor who was always asking for favors, rides to the store, help with chores, advice on everything under the sun. At first, I didn't mind, but over time, I noticed he rarely gave anything back, not even a thank you. One day, I realized I wasn't just tired, I was exhausted, emotionally and physically. That's when I decided to reclaim my time. I learned to say no, and instead, I invested that time in people who valued me and reciprocated the kindness. There's a quote I hold dear: "Let go of people who dull your shine, poison your spirit, and bring you drama. Life is too short to spend it with those who take more than they give." Surround yourself with people who energize you, support you, and make you feel appreciated. You deserve nothing less. In my 70s, I started spending time with a neighbor who was always asking for favors, rides to the store, help with chores, advice on everything under the sun. At first, I didn't mind, but over time, I noticed he rarely gave anything back, not even a thank you. One day, I realized I wasn't just tired, I was exhausted, emotionally and physically. That's when I decided to reclaim my time. I learned to say no, and instead, I invested that time in people who valued me and reciprocated the kindness. There's a quote I hold dear: "Let go of people who dull your shine, poison your spirit, and bring you drama. Life is too short to spend it with those who take more than they give." Surround yourself with people who energize you, support you, and make you feel appreciated. You deserve nothing less. Now, tell me, which of these lessons resonated with you the most? Are there words, actions, or relationships you're ready to change in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need these lessons. Together, we can create a community of wisdom, growth, and peace. Thank you for spending this time with me, my friends. Here's to living a life filled with purpose, respect, and joy.